So, a little bit about me, my experience with Sekhem, and yeah, I always tell this to the students because I think it's helpful. I feel like I'm a little bit shy about doing it here, but I'll give you maybe a slightly edited version. Um, I was going through my own dark night of the soul in 1999, and I had been with a partner who I knew was a soulmate at that time, and he was a Reiki master. And then we split up for a while, and I was really upset. Knew that he was the one at that time, and it was really interesting. I did the Reiki. I had already got quite a background with esoteric knowledge, working with meditation and yoga since I was 10, and having grown up in Northern Ireland during the Troubles in a country which is very divided with religion, and having had to go to Sunday school and stuff. So I already was even studying and dabbling in light witchcraft and things like that from I was 14, 15, and studying ESP and psychic abilities. So I was already quite awake. And then I was quite into people and partying for a while. And then my partner, who was a Reiki master, we were already having quite interesting. I was getting dreams and premonitions and things like that. And I'd already been working sometimes with people with my own form of healing with intention, which was getting results. But I was needing something to heal me when I decided to do Reiki level 1. And so I was really lucky. I studied under a lady called Rita Marr, and she was recommended to me by some friends because she's really thorough. And I'm really, really grateful that I had those teaching us level 1, not just somebody, there you go. It was very solid, 2 days. We stayed in an Airbnb nearby. And yeah, it was a profound turning point in my life. I was also studying counselling, and again, I was knowing that I was going through this huge spiritual awakening that had started before that, actually. And then the Reiki came as I was already really realising that I was having different experiences to people around me, and I was seeing things and understanding things and having premonitions. And I'd always, I guess, been very intuitive, but I was starting to realise that I didn't have anybody to talk to, and people didn't really see or feel the same way as me. So yeah, in shamanic teachings, people go through, I went through some very serious illnesses and was having a bit of a bleed through from the worlds and nobody to talk to. So when Reiki came into my life, I remember when we were initiated, and they said, the 21 days is really important to do the self-practice. And after 21 days, something really, you've got to really notice it. And there were some beautiful, miraculous things were happening even when we were getting initiated. Anyway, on day 21, the guy who ditched me got in touch. He didn't know I'd done the initiation. And he's like, I can't stop thinking about you. What's going on? Let's meet again. Day 21. And then we were together for like 3.5 years after that. So, and we're still very close in different places, but yeah, still got a connection. And yeah, and then he actually initiated me to level 2. And then I didn't do my master's for some time. So when I did my training with Rita, I said, how long does it take to become a master? And she said, if you do it properly, about 10 years, if you really actually walking the talk, practicing, doing it for real. And I knew I had a calling with this, and I felt that I wanted to know it as well as a doctor of medicine. I wanted to become somebody who was working with it in a thorough way like she was. And I was a little bit shocked about a lot of weekend Reiki people who come out going, I'm a Reiki master, and they've never done any self-treatments, and they've not worked on other people. And I had a very interesting, prolific apprenticeship with energy medicine because I was involved. I was doing a lot of things actually. I'd set up um, events. I was doing a lot of events and things. I was doing a doctorate. I was working with refugees. I was also, yeah, what else was I doing? Yeah, I was working with different refugee groups and we were doing fundraisers for refugees. And I was also still very involved in the Free Party movement. And there were a lot of people who used to fall off things or be fighting or having, psycho-spiritual emergencies. And I was the hospital. So people used to come to me. I used to get these messages, and this would be in things with 10,000 people in other countries. And so I learnt, and I did hundreds and hundreds of treatments in those situations, in kind of war zone situations. And that was my training ground. So, and I also did some little analysis. I was a little bit skeptical is too hard a word. I wondered if I was really was I a fraud or was distance healing working? And I analysed several sessions and there were huge things that happened. And I was really saying, wow, this stuff works. And of course it had worked for me as well. So I was a bit worried about the weekend Reiki people, and I'd done a lot of work and I was finding my own channel with it and people would be spotting it and I was working very prolifically. And then I was quite against it and I'd heard about Sekhem somewhere in the ethers, but then I was going at one point, this was in 2008 or 2009, to a healing gathering called One World. And there I met my teacher, Maya Reese, and she was there, Sekhem. I was like, this is for me. And I was super lucky because not many people were going to the classes, so I got my level 1 initiation for free at that festival. And then I wanted my level 2 very quickly after, and then I went down to London, and blah, 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 blah. The rest happened. And in quite a lot of the initiations, quite mega things happened in my life, which I will share when I see you face to face, which showed me that I have a connection with this lineage. And I guess I'm feeling that more and more. So where I'd got to with Reiki was it was feeling a little bit two-dimensional. And I guess I was also working in quite heavy situations. I probably needed something stronger. And I remember the difference that Sekhem had in my energy field. I just felt a powerful, held groundedness in my field. And it would happen each time, and everybody remarks on this. There's a tangible change when we get initiated, as there is with Reiki. But with Sekhem, it's different and it's more powerful in its own way, which you'll learn about. So I went through, I did my advanced, I think twice, and I did my master's once. And then the energy was so strong that when I was watching somebody be initiated at my master's level, I passed out. And so then I got a booster of my teacher master. And then I went back and did my Reiki master because I suddenly realised, because I was just really interested, the Sekhem really talked to me and where I was at in my life. And, so many people say, oh, I have a past life remembering of Egypt. I don't necessarily have a connection with Egypt. It felt more Lemurian, my connection, and more, yes, kind of extraterrestrial in its own way. So that happened, and I realised that Reiki, I had to maybe be able to initiate some people because they need something. They used to, particularly before. I became initiated as a teacher around 2011, and I was getting prepared for 2012. And then we hadn't all received so many codes and downloads, so it was absolutely imperative that people had something equivalent to at least Reiki 1 to get at least Sekhem 1. I'm finding now that the right people come to me, and most of them have something like that, or have already started channeling in some way, and it's very easy to discern. And one of the reasons for this is because the energy shift can be so great that their vessels cannot know how to cope with the energy, or they can have a really big healing event or healing crisis. And so this is something you will all probably experience. And as we go up the levels, it can become more profound. So I kind of became allergic to mobile phones when I did my advanced level and other things. So yeah, you'll see. So, what else was I going to say about the initiations? Sorry if I zone out. I do this in the sessions anyway, and I'm kind of sitting, somebody started playing a piano behind me, so it's just a bit random. Yeah, this is regarded as a healer's healing. This is the thread. And I look back now, and we can't see these things at the time, but in terms of my own life and the spaces that I'm in and what I got asked to do, it went hand in hand with the timelines. So when I had been on a journey connecting to plant medicines, I was already working with plant medicines, but I'd been in a very deep vibration and research journey with ayahuasca from 1999, but I didn't actually get to go to Brazil until 2006. So I was in a 7-year meditation even just to get there. And then my work with the plants deepened in 2008, which is when my work with Sekhem opened. And I started serving plant medicines in 2011 after intensive work and a lot of pilgrimage work around different countries in South America. And I started serving in a little way in 2011, and actually I started serving in a bigger way early 2013, which is when I initiated my first students. So look at that. And I only just saw one of those there now. So I look at people, and there's no judgment, but I thought I was a baby when it became something I couldn't avoid, that something I thought was just something I'd be assisting with was actually something I was being asked to organise for people. And I was like, what? But then actually I had Sekhem, and I had training as a counsellor and trauma training and doctorate training and a lot of things. And I thought I was a child, and I still am. I'm not 40 years experience with this stuff. I've got 20 years working with energy medicine now officially as a practitioner. So much to learn and so many portals just opening up now. So yeah, it was hand in hand with my journey with strengthening my field as a practitioner, and it will be for you too, even though it may not be tangible at the time. And I am so profoundly grateful to Sekhem because it's helped me find my flow in very serious situations, and with these guides and energies that I've built up allegiance with over the time. So as you can see, I didn't rush any of the path at all. I mean, there were definitely some moments where my ego took over. I think we all go through those journeys where we rush, but I'm really grateful that I didn't ever go in too super fast, because these things have huge karmic responsibilities. And but yeah, just look in your own life. You will see that something changes quite tangibly with who you are and the vibration that you hold. And I'm only really interested in initiating people who really want to walk the talk. And that is why I'm really quite strict. And the teachings are going to get stricter. And I always tell people, but sometimes they're shocked when it happens, as the Sekhmet energy deepens, as we go up the initiations, her channel and her not taking any shitness, it can be very strong. And we have very, very deep protocols about not being allowed to initiate masters unless we really get full guidance that it's the time. And I've taken that very, very, very seriously. And I take even who I let in to do the earlier levels very seriously. And some of you will take it further. Some of you will find it's just something you needed to boost your field. But we're really here trying to create a community of practitioners at the moment, and it's such a perfect time for that. And we're excited because we're now being allowed to expand the teachings, and and I will tell you more about the we when I've got the clearance on that. But yeah, it's something that I have to say, after being so prolific and going through all my novice phases with Reiki, like wanting to heal everybody and everything all the time. And I think it's very important for us to have a little bit that slight missionary zeal when we start off, because we need to get our case studies up. But the minute I got initiated to Sekhem, and people, I used to get people, oh, I've got a sore finger, and then they wouldn't even say thank you. And I'd started to realise there were energetics that we had to stand by, of reciprocity and an energy exchange. And in all those years where I did at least 500 treatments, and in 10 years, I didn't charge for one single treatment. So I really want to explain to you that I did a proper path of apprenticeship with this, and with going round the Americas and dedicating everything to those journeys. And I feel it's very important for people to understand the path of apprenticeship and how important it is, because this is where we get the life experience. And it's very evident to masters and elders that people have done apprenticing and have what would I say, just been in adverse situations and just knuckled down and not thought about the money. And there's a lot of contamination at the moment with people getting an initiation and the next week putting up a blog and a website proclaiming themselves practitioners in something that they really don't have a foundation in. And so there's a fine line. It's really good to practice on you need to do your self-care first, and then to start to work on people that you know for free. And then when you feel confident, to put it out there. And each of you will have different experience and a different feeling of, well, I'm ready to charge, because when I apply that to my last life of this hat, then this makes a big hat. So, I was a baby then, and I was really put in the right place to do a lot of treatments. When I started doing Sekhem, it all changed. The guys were like, do you really want to do a treatment with that person? Is it worth getting out of bed for this person who you know doesn't honour this? And I suddenly realised, yeah, I'm not going to do that. This person is not going to fix what it is in their life that they need to, so it's just a waste of my time. And the years of apprenticeship helped me to gauge that. I had to be with the time wasters, the ungrateful people, the drama queens, to start to map it all. And then once I had Sekhem, I had this discernment to start to say no. And what happened then with that was that the way Sekhem and I were developed more. So because I had all those years of wanting to heal everybody and everything all the time, I then mellowed to working with Sekhem more in ceremonial space or in earth-keeping work. And now I work quite a lot with kind of time travel and consciousness, and these are all things I was percolating all along those 20 years. I definitely have specialisms in that in my own coding. And this is what I really want to instill in all of you, is that you all have your unique way of channeling Sekhem. And this is the beauty of the time that we are in, is that we all get to be part of a new team where we have different specialisms. And I know that what I think is all encompassing in this genre, let's say, is recently I channeled 26 topics of masterclasses, and now I'm talking to my teacher, and she's got more, and this is what's come just like this, and we're changing, we're evolving. So there's so much here to come through, and this is why I love what we're to do together, which is, I think, a very special project on the planet. And when I look back to some of the things that happened in the initiation, and with the fact of the teachers that I've been with, who I'm so grateful to, well, yeah, we've got this alumni thing, and we mean business. We really wish to help you all to find your specialisms within this, and to utilise Sekhem, this living light energy, as a beacon into your own cultivation of your higher being. So that's a little bit more. I can say a little bit, well, just as my astrology is also suited to being in this role with you all, because I'm Virgo, which is, a lot about healing and health. Whoops. Sorry, let it go again. Okay, went off. Right, cool. And then my ascendant is Cancer, which is very much about holding space, maternal energy is very sensitive. And my moon is Pisces, which is very intuitive. So I was born on a full moon of Pisces. So I am here to work with these arts and with teaching. This is why I'm here. And it comes up in my astrology readings all the time. So I know I'm placed where I need to be, and I'm so grateful to be here with you, because this is so much now about upgrading the whole field, and in the rest of the transmissions you will start to understand why I say that. So lovely to be co-creating with you. Speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.